Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, all praise to the Most High in the name of His precious Son. And peace to all your brothers and sisters out there. The kingdom of heaven is within us, right? We are all gods. When the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. You can see this beast that's in charge has been changing the laws and the times to continue on its agenda. What the final product of that agenda is their whole system is going to crumble and fall apart and be destroyed by the power of the coming of the Lord, right? But their end goal agenda is what? Total human control, total mind control of everyone, right? So we got this, and they've been just probing and prodding at it. Like, look, dumb diversus, right? Came and conquered the land under the cross. All lands, this land here in America. Completely, I guess, subverting each individual's godhood or sovereignty. Okay, we're supposed to be sovereign people in a sovereign nation. But why do you need to go get a license? Or why do you think you need to go get a license to be able to travel around in an automobile on a public road? Okay? This attack is deception. This attack is, I guess, even when they make a law or a so-called law of the land that goes against the grain of individual sovereignty, individual autonomy, you know, that's deception because you're basically being deceived into following it or threatened into following it. Because they come in here and they want to initiate violence if you don't pay your taxes. They want to initiate violence against you if you're speeding on a public road. They want to stop you with emergency lights, a gun. All right. The whole reason that marijuana is illegal because the government made some kind of treaty with the UN and the people of this land cannot have that herb, that powerful, strong herb. Food, clothing, shelter, medicine, fuel. I mean, you name it. Herbs is supposed to be our medicine, right? That's what it says in the scriptures, in the Bible. All right, so I don't know. I got this article. I mean, this is getting really just disgusting and old, and these old dirty devils who are in charge, man, I just want them to go away. But we got to endure through this madness and this mess. Okay, so here we go. Biden handing over U.S. sovereignty to World Health Organization. All right, I don't want no contract with the World Health Organization. I want to be left alone. I don't want to be coerced into doing experimental medical things like wearing a mask or an experimental vaccine. I don't want to be coerced into that or compelled in any way from any outside source. I just want to be left alone. I want to serve my God. I want to serve my brothers and sisters. I want to serve this earth. Okay, but they make it like we're in charge. You're going to serve us by force. Slave. All right, Biden handing over U.S. sovereignty to World Health Organization. I'm not going to read the whole article. It's a couple good solid pages, but it's from a perspective that is, you know, kind of informed on how these world leaders make their treaties and have their little meetings and the CFR and the World Economic Forum. I mean, come on, man. They chemtrailing us, spraying aluminum and whatever other abominations. The water is poison, the air is poison, the food is poison. You really have to navigate this system very delicately and carefully to make sure you're not, you know, putting something in your temple, in your body that you don't want there. But the government's going to tell you what you're going to have to do, okay? And, you know, through all of this madness, with a pandemic lockdown. Bill Gates up here talking about, well, we have to wear pants. Why is everybody mad we have to wear pants? You're not wearing pants to try to prevent a virus. And I need somebody to isolate that virus and show me before I even think about making that a fact rather than a theory. Okay? So here we go. Please take seriously the severity of this existential threat to everything free people hold dear. Do everything in your power to pass this report on to others and find ways to communicate with and to influence people to stop empowering the World Health Organization to take over our national sovereignty and freedom. Do you know what that will look like? Do you see the weirdos that are the spokespeople for the World Health Organization? All right. And look at this. Go to your state's or your county's government website and start looking at your different politicians. It tells you where their offices is. Why do all these politicians have an office in Washington, D.C.? Why does a state politician have an office in Washington, D.C.? They don't have nothing to do with each other. D.C. is its own sovereign city-state, 10 by 10 square miles in between Maryland and Virginia. It's not America. Okay, it's the United States. And there's a court case, Downs v. Bidwell, back in 1860 or 1870, somewhere in there, that outlined the two different governments that are operating with the same name. Deception and fraud and coercion and war crimes, plus violations of natural law that we can't just keep on saying, oh yeah, well this is normal. Oh yeah, we have to pay taxes. That's slavery. That's paying off the mafia so they don't come and hurt you. Okay? Going to go get license plates. That's paying off the mafia so they don't jam you up and harass you with their gun. Because the Motor Vehicle Association is a corporation. The county police is a corporation. Okay? They don't have the interests of the people in their hearts and minds. They take an oath to uphold the Constitution, but they perjure their oath every day because they don't know what they're doing. They seemingly driveling, knuckleheaded, brawling, cowboy-type fool idiots. Okay? And look at where we are. You know? Who is initiating the violence here? And once violence is initiated, what are you supposed to do? Just take the violence? No. You're well within your natural rights under natural law that you need to defend yourself. All right, anyway, back to this article. On May 22nd through 28th, 2022, so that's in a couple days, that's this Sunday through the following Saturday. So May 22nd to May 28th, 2022, ultimate control over America's healthcare system and hence its national sovereignty will be delivered for a vote to the World Health Organization's governing legislative body, the World Health Assembly. So we got the World Health Organization and the World Health Assembly. All these little acronyms and with their, look at their meeting, bro. Like, we should be talking about something more important. Like, what if there was a group that was this big and this powerful that was trying to figure out how can we stop the chemtrailing? How can we stop the poisonous indoctrination of the school curriculum for our children at school? What if there was a group this big that was trying to figure out how can we be free and serve our God and do what we need to do? Okay? This is captivity and it sucks. All right, so the World Health Organization and the World Health Assembly. This threat is contained in new amendments to the World Health Organization's international health regulations proposed by the Biden administration. So this is our own leaders that is proposed, well, so-called leaders that propose these amendments to the World Health Organization that are scheduled as provisional agenda items 16.2 at the upcoming conference on May 22nd. These amendments will empower the World Health Organization's Director General to declare health emergencies or crises in any nation and to do so unilaterally and against the opposition of the target nation. The Director General will be able to declare these health crises based merely on his personal opinion or consideration that there is a potential or possible threat to other nations. If passed, the Biden administration's proposed amendments will, by their very existence and their intention, drastically compromise the independence and the sovereignty of the United States. The same threat looms over all the UN's 193 member nations, all of whom belong to the World Health Organization and represent 99.44% of the world population. That could be speculative. These regulations are a binding instrument of international law entered into force on 15 June 2007. UN member states can be required by law to obey or acquiesce to them. How it became official. January 18th, 2022, with no public awareness, officials from the Biden administration sent the World Health Organization these extensive amendments to strengthen the World Health Organization's ability to unilaterally intervene into the affairs of nations merely suspected of having a health emergency of possible concern to other nations. The U.S. amendments cross out a critical existing restriction in the regulations. World Health Organization shall consult with and attempt to obtain verification from the state party in whose territory the event is allegedly occurring. By eliminating that, the other clauses, and we'll get into them maybe, all the shackles will be removed from the Director General of the World Health Organization, enabling him to declare health emergencies at will. Okay? So, they got all these 5G towers set up everywhere recently. New ones. Down on 33rd Street, out White Marsh, out. I'm gonna do a little tour and make a couple videos of them. But they got these 5G things everywhere now. So, radiation poisoning symptoms. What are the symptoms of radiation poisoning? Real similar to flu-like symptoms. So they've got now they've got all their infrastructure set up that at the flick of a switch or a push of a smartphone button, they can do whatever they want to these towers, change their resonance, change their power, and basically give everyone slight radiation poisoning and have everybody looking all sick and drivelly. Okay? If you got one of these towers or something in your neighborhood or in front of your house, man, start making some noise. Write to your worthless politician. Go administer your worthless politician. And tell them that you don't want that there. This is damaging. This is an attack on your life, on your physiology. Worthless politicians, man. Ain't nobody really talking about the real issues at hand here. We're all just kind of pigeonholed into being slaves of this beast. But we'll see how long it lasts. All right, continuing on. The amendments will give the World Health Organization the right to take important steps to collaborate with other nations and other organizations worldwide to deal with any nation's alleged health crisis. What about obesity? What about suicide? What about what about the sick minds that think that abortion is cool? Collaborate with other organizations worldwide to deal with any nation's alleged health crisis, even against its stated wishes. So even when you say no, they still coming in. The power to declare health emergencies is a potential tool to shame, intimidate, and dominate nations. It can be used to justify ostracism and economic or financial actions against a targeted nation by other nations aligned with the World Health Organization or who wish to harm and control the accused nation. Who can make war with the beast? Right? And what they do with Daniel, right? They went to the king Nebuchadnezzar and said, change the law so you can't pray to your God, any other gods. And Nebuchadnezzar was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. They was like, yes, king. And then they over here trying to scope Daniel and find him praying to his God, and then took him and snitched on him, reported him, because they wanted to get rid of Daniel, the king's men, because Daniel was making them look bad. So then it was like, well, the issue came out my mouth. Damn, okay. Nebuchadnezzar was like, all right, throw him in the lion's den. And then everybody knows how that story panned out. All right? But this is what it is. We're getting thrown in the lion's den. The enemy is coming in like a flood. All right. Although sponsored by an American administration, World Health Organization's most significant use of this arbitrary authority to declare national emergencies will be used against the United States if our government ever again dares to take anti-globalist stands as it did under the Trump administration. And that's speculative too. Because it's really hard to see, you know, a lot of people was like, yeah, Trump's the guy we need to have in charge and X, Y, Z. But like, he been rolling with him, with all the rest of them. Just the same. The world elite, man. What do you want? So how much time do we have to stop these amendments? The contents of the proposed amendments were not made public until April 12th, 2022, leaving little time for protest before the scheduled vote. As noted, the amendments are scheduled and almost certainly will be enacted May 22nd through 28th. And that's why Bill Gates keeps on talking about, oh, the next pandemic. Release the bioweapon. I mean, have you seen The Simpsons where they're trying to like do a little roundtable war game and how they're going to, put the people of this earth back where they belong? Slavery, man. And then they gave that man a shot. Anyway. The existing World Health Organization regulations then provide for an 18-month grace period during which a nation may withdraw its yes vote for amendments. But the current proposed amendments will reduce that opportunity to 6 months. If the U.S.-sponsored amendments are passed, a majority of the nations could, in the next 6 months, change their individual votes and reverse the approval. But this is a much more difficult proposition than stopping the whole process now. All right, so what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So how is anybody going to protest? And then look what they did with all these silly-ass protests, man. It basically put protesting, it gave a whole new name or face to protesting. Antifa, BLM. I mean, come on, man. The Proud Boys. Come on, man. And you got to think. Back when the Constitution was written and declared as the law of this land, we had guys that was whiskey drinking, marijuana growing, and hated the oppression of the redcoats, basically the cops. Because everybody ends up, all of these corporations that are incorporated, they're incorporated into what? The corporate commercial government, U.S. code, D.C. code. So like a lot of the U.S. code and D.C. code is for federal employees or people who are in Washington, D.C. Slovakia. All right. Anyway, but we don't know. It's my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Look at this, and people still out here wearing masks. These kids in school still gotta wear masks. My heart cries because it's muzzling. And then look at how divided we are. Because let's say I bring it up in the grocery store. I have 5 people over here looking at me like, oh no, he crazy. The virus is real. And then you have 5 other people like, oh, just want to be indifferent. And then you have 5 other people like, yeah, he's right. They never isolated the virus. They do want to kill us. It's just a shame. It's just a shame, man. All right, how it became official, how much time do we have? Stop the whole process. We must act now to prevent the passage of the amendments, including putting sufficient pressure on the United States to withdraw from its consideration. If that fails, and the amendments are approved at the May meeting from the 22nd to the 28th of the World Health Organization governing body, we must then make an effort to influence the majority of the nations to change their votes to no. Like, we're all sovereign, right? We're all kings, right? What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of all of these big conglomerates of controllers and weirdos? I mean, look at these weirdos. They probably was born into it, man. Operation Paperclip. Bring them on in. NASA. All right. Without organized resistance, the amendments will definitely pass because, like I was saying, your politicians are worthless. They're all sold out to DC. They're all sold out to APAC. They're clowning you, bro. And they're operating as a corporation. That's why their names are in all capital letters on the signs. You catch that? Like, you have the right to your bodily autonomy. You have the right to do whatever you want. And it's not given by the Constitution. The Constitution was just expressing that God, the Most High God, did not create us to be down here and be these weird servants and serfs to the beast. Anyway, without organized resistance, the amendments will definitely pass. All right? So, you know, start administering your public officials. I mean, I only, you know, write them some certified letters. Show them the laws that they're breaking. Tell them how they're violating the Constitution in certified letters. You know, I made a couple YouTube videos here or there expressing my displeasure with our governor in Maryland. And the rest of y'all. I ain't seen one person yet try to stand up and say, hey, we need to initiate efforts to make sure that we're all educated on this and see this as an attack on our sovereignty. Not even before COVID. They're always trying to do crap to manipulate us. All these shootings, the Boston bombing, whatever next false flag they want to do, 9/11. I mean, come on, Larry Silverstein. All right, on January 26, 2022, the same U.S. permanent mission to the United Nations in Geneva sent a one-page memo to the World Health Organization confirming that the amendments had been sent. It also contained a brief report by the same Lois Pace, Assistant Secretary for Global Affairs, HHS. Most importantly, the memo listed all the nations backing the U.S. amendments. The size and power of the group guarantee that the amendments will be passed if unopposed by significant outside pressure. Okay? And I mean, you've seen 2,000 Mules. I mean, just their... To hell with a democracy in the first place. But now it's like their democracy consists of all fraud, complete fraud. You know? I took my name off the voter registration a long time ago. Because it ain't even, it's not even real. But they use that to game you into saying yes to them. Okay, vote no. Vote no. If you're voting, vote no on everything. You know, because the things that you vote for, like, for the county to borrow $1 million for a stream restoration. First of all, who you borrowing the money from? Second of all, how you going to pay the money back? Third of all, what about all my tax money that I've been paying ever since I've been working since I was 13? Fourth of all, what's wrong with the stream anyway? You know, borrow $20 million for a better recycling program. Why are you borrowing $20 million? You ain't just got $20 million? Like, what? Devils are in charge. And this is how they operate. And they do things like this. They take your sovereignty and your consent, and then they make a contract with the serpent. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. But it's showing you a flat Earth map too with that. Anyway, the size and power of the group guarantee that the amendments will be passed if unopposed by significant outside pressure. Here are the 200 nations plus the European Union listed by the U.S. as supporting the amendments. I guess we can just add this to the list. This also could be a list of all the nations that have been infiltrated, taken over, and put under control of the world elite conglomerate beast. All right? Albania, Australia, Canada, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, India, Jamaica, Japan, Monaco, Montenegro, Norway, Peru, Republic of Korea, Switzerland, UK, Northern Ireland, the United States of America, Uruguay, member states of the European nation. The European Union, a globalist organization, has been among the biggest backers of increasing World Health Organization's global power. The EU includes the following 27 Western nations. And you know Bill Gates big in it too. You know, and look more into him. That's not even his name. There's a guy on Bitchute. He go by Spacebusters. Spacebusters. He's got a lot of good information, man. Here's the EU nations. Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Republic of Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, and Sweden. That's a total of 47 nations supporting the U.S. authored amendments, and all of them have endorsed empowering the World Health Organization to declare a possible or potential health emergency or crisis within any nation despite its objections and refusal to cooperate. To repeat, these amendments will pass unless American citizens, as well as citizens worldwide, mount a very strong opposition. I like the way that they put it as American citizens, because U.S. citizen means that you're a member of Washington, D.C., a federal employee, as well as citizens worldwide, mount a very strong opposition. Defining health in the World Health Organization's domain of authority. According to the foreword to the World Health Organization's regulations, there is no specific limit to what constitutes a health emergency and is certainly not limited to pandemics. The World Health Organization's domain includes a scope not limited to any specific disease or manner of transmission, but covering illness or medical condition, irrespective of origin or source, that presents or could present significant harm to humans. The World Health Organization's powerful reach is also defined by the number of other organizations that it is authorized to cooperate with once it has declared an emergency or health crisis. Remember the one guy said, he's like, well, now we have to go into these families and we have to get the people. We have to get that person that's sick. You know, if I'm sick, just leave me alone. I do not consent to y'all's crap. Other competent intergovernmental organizations or international bodies with which the World Health Organization is expected to cooperate or coordinate its activities as appropriate include the following: United Nations, International Labor Organization, Food and Agriculture Organization, International Atomic Energy Agency, International Civil Aviation Organization, International Maritime Organization, International Committee of the Red Cross, International Federation of the Red Cross, and Red Crescent Societies, International Air Transport Association, International Shipping Federation, Office International des Epizootis, The preamble of the World Health Organization Constitution, separate from the international health regulations, summarizes the World Health Organization's concept of what is included under its mandate of improving, guiding, and organizing world health. All right, so human beings have existed on the earth, let's just say for kicks, 10,000 years. All right? We just recently got what is being called a vaccine. Okay? Once they stopped spraying DDT, polio went away. They put Jonas Salk up as a hero. They love doing this hero stuff because people love it. Because people love being entertained, as far as I can see. So humanity's been around that long. But let's just say 10,000 years, just roughly. I mean, I could be way off, or, you know, we could have only been here for about 2,000 years, and I just have no concept of time. But anyway, we've been here this long. How long has the human race been around without masks? There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? Pathogens and things that get in you, your body has to deal with it to get it out. Radiation, there's radioactive things that are inside the earth that if you find them and hold them close to you, it's going to make you sick. They made radioactivity up in the towers and all, but that's not new. They know how radiation affects us. Okay? There's another book called The Invisible Rainbow, and it's all about the progression of the technology, of the wireless technology, from like 1910 when they put up the big tower to transmit across the Atlantic, and that's right when Spanish flu came out, and then it keeps on continuing on down the line, calling out the technology, then calling out the pandemic. All right, but it's just not comfortable to deal with, you know. When the wickedness is in rulership, the people mourn, you know. I'm going to end it right here for now. I might come back and do the last couple pages. But, you know, this worldwide mafia of criminals and banksters and gangsters. And they're going to wear out the saints, right? Anyway, Shalom, all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Love y'all.